But I wanted to talk in the last segment. We talk a lot about foreclosures. We talk a lot about our real estate market, and we're always wanting to give you news that, you know, you'll see a national news release, but we want to drill it down and talk to you about it on a local level. You'll hear, you know, construction starts are up or home prices are up. Usually those are people looking at statistics, number one, that are 2 or 3 months old. You know, I saw a release the other day talking about how prices were up, and the statistics quoted were month ending in June. It's freaking October, okay? Like June, who cares? Like that was 4 months ago. Come on, you know. So, but we talk about what's going on right now, and right now what we're seeing is a much stronger fourth quarter than years past. We think the summer kind of kept chugging along this year. It seems like it's just continued to surge. December is usually a really strong real estate month. People here in the Tampa Bay area will sometimes call us and they'll be concerned that the market's going to fall off or they should wait to sell their home. And very rarely is it a good idea to wait because usually, you know, there's a personal satisfaction with getting your home sold too. There's that, you know, there's an emotional piece of it. So, you know, waiting isn't always the solution. Now that doesn't mean that we won't sometimes give you advice. It depends on how many homes are in the market, in your neighborhood, the saturation rates. But really, we don't have a market where there's this huge fall off. But there's a little bit of fall off. You know, usually the fourth quarter is a little slower than the third. But this year, I don't know that that's going to be the case. It seems like, you know, the October, November, December, and I'm hearing this from other agents, not just our company, but it's really surging. Are you guys seeing kind of the same
we've
same
seen
thing?
You know, we're seeing an increase in applications, and right now everybody's like, I want to get closed by Thanksgiving. It's kind of the magic date, and then it'll be Christmas, and then year end. So.
I always tell people, and I tell our agents this too, you want to avoid closing around those dates. You don't want to be closing like the day before Thanksgiving because everyone's going to be off Thanksgiving, and a lot of people are going to be off that Black Friday. The title companies, the lenders, getting something closed, you're just asking for a nightmare. Same thing the last week of the year, anything around Christmas, you want to do everything you can to avoid closing then. And I think there's multiple reasons for that. Number one, you've got industries that a lot of people are off. You know, you've got financial risk if you're talking about the end of the year, because if you're someone that's homestead, you know, filing a homestead exemption, closing in January, you're pushing your homestead exemption a whole year. You know, which means if values have risen, you're going to pay more in taxes, and you're not just going to pay more in taxes next year. You're going to pay more in taxes every year that you own the property because your cap is going to be at a higher number. So you start to get around those end of the year dates, and we really do encourage people to do everything possible to avoid them. The closings around that time are just a nightmare. I mean, it is chaos. So we want to position our people. And we get, like, we had a listing this week that got an offer to close December 29th. And I told my folks, we need to counter that date. That you're just asking for trouble closing on that day. It pushes a day or two, and then you're into next year. And what are the tax implications? What are the this? What are the that? And there's just a lot of things that happen at the end of the year. So certainly something to pay attention to. If you're out there buying or selling a home, do your best to avoid being right up around those dates. You do either a few days, you know, a week before or a few days after is okay. After the holiday is perfectly fine, but certainly right before it or the day before it, Christmas Eve, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your family. I mean, just avoid those dates. So